This is going to sound like a weird question, but how many times do you think that you've heard what you thought was a Dumble amplifier and it was actually a Tweed amp? Now, I know for me that Larry Carlton was actually one of the first guys that I sort of associated with the Dumble sound. And, you know, you hear his work with Donald Fagen, etc. And to me, he's always sounded pretty Dumbly, but we kind of know that he wasn't using a Dumble on the early sort of Steely Dan stuff, right? So I wanted to, in this video, just explore some sort of tweedy tones with a Les Paul bridge pickup. I guess an ES335 would make even more sense here, but I don't have one. And we'll see where we get with this. So something that has Tweed in the title cab-wise. Deluxe Tweed. See, that seems as good as anything, right? We've got our 121, and should we also a 57? Let's see. Maybe that's a good starting point. Maybe it's not, but we'll see. What I'll also do, because these do tend to have a spring reverb, right? I think. Actually, maybe they don't. The Tweed amp that I've got here does, but let's go a little bit springy. But let's maybe take this down. These videos are brought to you by G66 UK, and that's your place to get an FM3, FM9 or Axfex 3 in the UK, and the VP4, they're working through the waitlist on that. So, here we go then. 5F1 Deluxe Tweed, 5F8 Tweed Bright, and Deluxe Tweed here. So we'll start with Deluxe Tweed. It doesn't sound like much to me. So one thing we could do is go into the lower input, which we could achieve by doing this basically. I think would be to put a compressor. We'll go for the right, so we can now got like a pretty kind of there on the edge. There's nowhere to hide with it, but it is a pretty sort of direct. Let's try and sweeten it up with a little bit of sort of delay. It just sits really nicely. If I go to neck, yeah, it's definitely got a really cool vibe to it. I would encourage giving that a try, because it's just something that's so different to the sort of normal stuff that I would try to dial in Fractal. It's got a real retro kind of vibe to it. Do you want this maybe to be stereo instead? Potentially, maybe we could go to sort of like a plate instead of a spring. Would that be more of a vibe for certain things? I'm thinking here now about sort of like a, you know, one of those police sort of shows where you'd have some really nice sort of lead playing on there. Let's go London plate. Now, apparently Larry Carlton would also use as drive at the time was an MXR 78 distortion, like a distortion plus. So I don't know if we've got something plus distortion. That's probably the guy. Now I'm going to guess that he wouldn't use tons of gain on this. I don't know how this is going to sound. The guy's a genius, right? So that's that's a really good starting point. So Tweed just by itself. Then scene 2, we just bring in that plus distortion. Hopefully we're keeping everything else the same. MXR distortion plus, and I think you'll agree that's not exactly the first kind of things that I'd generally pull up, but those are some really compelling tones to me. Do you know what I mean? Just it's got a really cool envelope to the start of it. Yeah, that's cool. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll drop this up into the folder. I'm using a Les Paul here. Yeah, give that a try. That's a really cool preset. I'll catch you in another video soon. All of my presets available in the Gumroad folder for just a £5. Catch you in another video soon. Cheers.